Oh, look at that.
That is
What
graphics, that is.
Oh, Frank, calm down. Oh, God. He's going to have a stream deck soon, isn't he? Oh, have we lost someone?
Andy's disappeared.
He's had to go and clap. He's got the
perfect timing.
Nope, there he is. Right.
Sorry,
let's start the show.
Getting interrupted by a clapper.
Oh, I haven't seen you. All right, all hands hurt now. Yep. Mine's from chronic masturbation. Cut that. Right, let's start the show. Nice and clean. Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Drone Out. Tonight, you're joined by Curry Kitten.
Hello.
Disclaimer.
I haven't got it to hand. Carry on. I'll get back to it.
Oh, can you flash it up? Any views expressed by any guests on the show are personal or may not reflect the views of the others or the show. And Andy,
I shouldn't worry about it. We live in special times. Everyone's too busy thinking about other things.
It's all right. The courts are closed.
Well, no, they now host legal stuff over the internet, secure network, and you get trialed remotely now. Andy RC.
Hello.
My little Tony.
Bonjour.
And the slightly alcoholic Frank.
Good evening.
Cheers, Frank. I've got a new drink here tonight. Can we talk about IPA for a while? I've got no drone topics to talk about. Literally haven't flown. Nothing's new. Got nothing to do. It's crap. We're not allowed to go to our local field. We're not allowed out. It's a load of rubbish. Let's do a beer drinking channel.
Oh, they've announced some good news today. Sorry, go on, Jack.
And I'm bright until I fly. Not that I matter. All right, see you later. Have fun, lad.
Sorry.
Jack was waiting to do that from the start of the show. He was not committed. He was soldering when he joined this.
He's still soldering. Also, no one. When's the last time anybody said, "Hey, bright until I fly"? What are you doing?
You know what? I'm gonna mute mine and turn my cam off until he comes back.
Oh, this is going to be a great show. Should I do it as well?
Well, shall I kick us off with some very solidly drone-related news? It's not exciting, but, you know, the CAP 1789, the guidance on the July rules in quotes.
Oh, I'm back. What about the July rules?
There's been an updated version of the guidance released yesterday, the 29th of April, and there's some minor adjustments in there. Mainly, the biggest thing is that they're kicking it back until at least 1st of November. So everything stays as it is until the 1st of November. That's kind of the main things to take away from it. There is also mention of remote ID in there, beginning January 2022, but it's very, very vague. It references another document, which looking at that is also pretty vague. There's more details on this on the LDO Discord if you're really interested in finding out some more details. I was pasting some screenshots to Winterblue earlier today or yesterday. Either way, in the LDO Discord, if you want more information on the CAP 1789 guidance. There we go. Solid
still
drone
very
news.
upset about our £9.50. We're still not getting back for even longer. Boo.
Well, they just add it on or whatever.
Met the quota for drone news. So
no, there's more drone news, isn't there? Because you've got Virtual Mini Air Show to talk about.
There is Virtual Mini Air Show. We're now definitely doing this. This is definitely happening. The website has been updated and everything. So if you go to miniairshow.co.uk, it will tell you that you can go back there and find out more and watch streams and stuff. So what it is we're going to have a schedule of YouTube live streams that's going to be happening throughout the day. And on different channels, on different topics, some doing some live builds, some doing some talks and Q&As, some doing simulator sessions, fingers crossed some racing, but at least some a freestyle competition, and so that is going to be happening on the actual Saturday that there was going to be the mini air show. So that is the 16th of May. So that's only a couple of weeks away. But yeah, so
was that off going to be our first all meetup? It was like, oh my god, it's like it's so poo that it's not happening, isn't it?
I'm really, really confident that this is going to be the best RC event of spring 2020.
It's going to be the only RC event of spring 2020.
It's going to be the best RC event of spring 2020.
Frank, who's lined up to talk and do things so far on the streams?
So we've got Lurgy doing builds, we've got Painless doing Q&As, we've got Tiny Whoop Go is going to be involved, potentially Jesse Perkins he's interested in co-commentating some of the Tiny Whoop racing. Cool. A bunch of other people I'm talking to at the moment, talking about the things that they might be doing, but we haven't worked out exactly what or when, so I don't really want to put them on the spot until I've actually got confirmation from them. But yeah, there's a huge long list of people to be working out some schedules with. So hopefully we'll have something like that about mid next week. That's what we're aiming to do, is to firm up the schedule by then. So yeah,
I'm gutted we're not all going to meet each other. I mean, online it's going to be cool. It's going to be great. I mean, you're doing well, Frank.
Fingers crossed.
It's gutting that we're not going to all meet up and have cuddles and fly stuff and drink beer and
what simulator are you going to use?
We're going to be using a selection of simulators.
Okay.
So there'll be different slots going to use different simulators, but the big headline one I'm pretty sure is going to be the Tiny Whoop Go. I think that's going to be.
I've not heard of that. Tiny Whoop Go. I've not heard of that. Is that one that Jesse's got?
Exactly. So it's yes, it is interesting. Go take a look at it. Go download it.
I'm just thinking for the people who want to join in.
It is free to use.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You know, people kind of need to get it in advance, or is that not the idea? Because then they'd know all the tracks and stuff if they got it in advance.
Well, that's the thing, is that speaking to them, they are potentially giving us the ability to make our own track.
Oh, cool. Okay. Is that so? Is that,
how to do that, so.
Will that be the Rotor Brush guys then?
So it is almost a fork of Rotor Brush.
Okay. Got
specifically for the Tiny Whoop stuff. But yeah, it's pretty good. Having played around with it a little bit. But yeah, you can go and have a go at that. I'm sure we'll be having a go with Courier Simulator as well. Which is also free, so you can try a selection of free simulators.
I was just playing that.
Yeah.
Which one?
Yours, Wayne. It's very good. Very impressed.
Does it fly like a real one?
I had to play around with the rates and the throttle multiplier and the gravity, but I was very impressed. Yeah, I think if you had never flown FPV before, you could definitely get going with it for sure.
Yes, you definitely need to mess around with it to make it feel like you want it to feel. Me and Frank were trying it. We were trying my Wednesday, let's see if I can write networking a day feature, which kind of works. If you don't mind, it kind of looks like someone's got your quad on a string and is doing this to it. So it got a bit wobbly, but we think we fixed that bit now.
But it was very accurate in that we could barely find each other to follow each other.
Barely find each other. Where are you? I'm by the tree. Which tree? By the hoop. No, I can't see you.
I'm still offering. I'm running out of battery.
So we've nailed the authenticity of quad chasing and the fact you can't find each other.
Oh, he's back.
It was the networking side of it seemed to work pretty flawlessly. Like that was just a case of fire it up, stick a name in, and it worked. So that side of things looking pretty promising.
Well, hopefully I'll have something ready in a couple of weeks at least.
Yeah.
In case people want to virtually mess with each other.
And if nothing else, I'm sure we can do the FPV freestyle competition that we usually do at the mini air shows by screen sharing from a sim, if nothing else.
Can we
There'll
can we
always be a
ban
way.
NJ so people can have a chance of winning?
Well, he was a
no.
judge last time.
Oh, good.
He's got the handicap of he's spending all hours God sends doing whatever he's doing at the moment, guitar lessons. So
available from NJ on Cloud Cake server. On this.
So that's his handicap.
So what? In order to make a handicap, what we should make is some sort of guitar MIDI controller to joystick input, and he has to like solo in order to fly quad.
Oh, that is hilarious! Yeah, his throttle is accumulated by how many notes he can play at the.
Yeah, if he drops under 300 notes a minute, he crashes. That's it. He has to just keep playing.
But just seen a comment
on
Just seen a comment in the chat from Tailspin saying Sync FPV has a new free sim as well. That's on Steam.
I've seen that. It looks quite good.
I invited you guys to the chat. His little live stream.
I did, yeah. I did watch it afterwards.
Yes,
it looks amazing graphically. It's from a sort of defunct MMO where people could build their own islands and things. Love the art style on that.
What's MMO short for?
Massively, well, it's a Mamorburg. It's a massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
Oh, okay.
A bit like, the I can't think of any now.
World of Warcraft.
And the Orcs. World of Warcraft. There we go.
You're meant to be a nerd.
Yeah, but I never play these. I cannot commit to playing a massively multiplayer online role-playing game because I'll just be doing that forever instead of getting on with the hundreds of other games that sat on the shelf there, which I'll never finish.
I know. I'm having to try and not play Minecraft constantly.
Well, that's not even a game. Don't get me started on it.
I think the solid, unique selling point of Curry's Sim is that it can run on my laptop, which is not built for running anything except for the internet.
It runs on poo. To be fair, I'm calling it a design decision. It's mainly because I can't draw, so the graphics aren't very good. Hence, it will run on stuff.
Brutally honest there, but it works.
I would ask Jack to draw stuff for me, but we've seen his drawings. They're not work safe at all, are they?
No.
I do like them.
I really like how it's easy to set up on the controller. You've got your picture of an FR Sky transmitter, and because I fly mode 1, I lifted my throttle up and it's started to do yaw. So I just did the calibrate option and just followed it along. You have to make sure that you only put one input in, don't you? Otherwise, it'll record the second. But other than that, it was like, yeah, all set up. Great.
It did take me a couple of times to not accidentally set my pitch as the reset switch somehow.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It kept taking that as like whatever it wanted to do. But if I literally put it down and didn't touch it, then it was fine. So that's what I ended up doing.
One thing I didn't get around to, Wayne, is there a field of view option change? I didn't look that far.
No, it's something I feel is holding it back, and it's something I want to sort it out. But will it run on Raspberry Pi? It'll run on Linux. And depending on what distribution of Raspberry Pi, who knows? I haven't tested it.
There's
Talking about Raspberry Pis, Frank, what have you been doing with your? You've had some fingers in the pie, haven't you?
I've had. There's a Raspberry Pi up on my windowsill just now, just out of shot, with an RTL SDR, which I know it's software defined radio, but I can't remember what the RTL stands for. But that's doing ADSB reception. So the remote ID of the aircraft world that's apparently been sort of it's the kind of idea of it has been sort of worked on since like the 40s, late 40s. So it's been around for quite a while. But it's on 1080 megahertz, at least in EU. They ping out a message that says this is what my location is, this is what my altitude is, this is how fast I'm going, what direction I'm going, all that kind of thing, and a squawk code, which uses some interesting design choices. But yeah, there's that as well. And then, so that's
Does
being
it
picked
let
up,
people know your intentions?
kind of. But yeah, so that's being picked up on my windowsill from 100 kilometers away.
Can they see you? You're just
and-
listening.
Yeah, this is just listening.
Okay.
And then feeding it into the internet.
Is that how things like flight radar work then? So does it purely rely on people creating these like hotspots like you have, and so hobbyists essentially, and then you can use something like,
I think, I don't know how flight radar do it. I know you can set up a feed to feed flight radar, but I've set up this one for feeding a kind of almost open source competitor to Flight Radar 24, which is
ADSB Exchange, or is it that
exactly
one?
ADSB Exchange, and that's what I've been using, and that's what this is feeding it to. And
so it's a way to track aircraft as almost. Is it used outside of a hobby? Is it used?
Oh yeah,
by,
so
it's used by the aviation world as well.
Oh yeah, so the like anywhere where there's air traffic control, I mean they might have radar as well, but they won't know from radar like who it is or where they're going or anything like that. So by using ADSB, it kind of annotates a radar and says this is who that is and what they're doing and what name you need to call if you're calling them on the radio or whatever. Yes, it's so that's kind of, and that's interestingly enough related to drones. That's also kind of a lot of what the
remote
ID is kind of being based around, or at least being thought around. So there was one ping that has been around for a good 3-4 years that is like an ADSB, a miniaturized ADSB specifically for unmanned aircraft. And then there's, I'm pretty sure this is what the DJI, the latest one. I think the Mavic Air 2 might even have some ADSB.
Really? That looks quite nice, but I think that's only in the US and Canada, isn't it? I don't think it's in Europe.
Anyone paid any attention to DJI stuff recently?
I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's only America and Canada.
I was surprised they released a camera drone at a time when you can't really use them, but
perhaps made it go further.
Fly longer apparently as well. Yeah,
I know someone who bought a Mavic Mini like a week ago. Who messaged me like, "What do you recommend? What do I need to do? Where should I learn?" All that kind of stuff. And so I gave him some links, but he is in Wales, but I can't imagine he's far enough into the middle of nowhere to just be able to go and fly somewhere.
I was right. Mr. Shady says I was right. It's only US and Canada. Which is weird because why wouldn't they do it in Europe?
Yeah. So Winterblue in the chat is talking to Zoe at the moment. Yeah, have you seen Zoe's?
Did she just growl at me?
Have you seen Zoe's new workshop?
No, she moved into an apartment. That's the last I saw of it.
Speaking
of apartment,
I thought she was still on the road.
No, she's getting one, I think. Last I heard.
Well,
I was on her Discord out of limits. It's open Discord.
Yeah, right.
Frank, speaking of apartments, chair or screen did you go for?
I am gonna watch this chair if I don't get a new chair soon, because spending most of my day on this chair is killing me slowly. So yeah, I'm desperately in need of a new chair.
You're going to shell out then, Frank.
Yeah.
Always buy.
Should we start a chair fund?
Gaming chair?
I just
Sitting on a tin thing. Fold up tin horrible thing it is.
I just need to find somewhere that has an office chair in stock at the moment, because it seems like, along with webcams and keyboards, everyone has bought one for their home recently, and there aren't many around.
Interesting.
So if anyone has a line on not too expensive office chairs,
webcams, chairs, and toilet paper. Interesting.
and toilet paper, yeah.
Jeez.
And it's all from the same problem, which is that everyone's spending time at home, not in the office. So they're using toilet paper in the home, not in the office. They're using chairs in the home, not in the office. They're using webcams in the home, not in the office. And so the supply chains have struggled to move everything that they've had in the office supply chains over to the commercial supply chains.
I'd like a new webcam, to be fair. This one I've got on my laptop's.
He said it freezes up just as he says it. I think we need a new computer tone. We've lost Tony.
Tony, no! You sit a bag of compost from B&Q, says Magical
That is
Pencil.
true. That is true.
He's been outdoor. He's been right farmering. I need to phone you back as well. I haven't phoned you back. Tony, you can have my webcam when one day I get a cam link and some sort of Sony camera. But
Yes,
and a
you can,
multi-mount.
Tony.
Oh.
Do you think we're going to be allowed out after next week? Let's speculate on that, because it's looked like there might be some plans for us to be able to do that.
Probably you young'uns will be allowed out, so that will be Frank.
Yeah, Frank's like
yeah. Who's
I might be going back to work on the 11th.
B?
So that's
Flag. Talk about the new folding 5-inch prop. Oh my god, have you guys seen that? The folding is it Dow?
Yeah.
Dow 5
folding 5-inch 3 tri-blade, Dow prop.
Yeah. Can you
collapses into itself then, like in one prop? Or
three props will fold down. Think of like a DJI dual blade, but a tri-blade version of that, and it's basically that, but it looks like a Dow prop. I haven't watched.
Wacky Wes from Hong Kong. Shall I just do?
Where's
crazy?
Yeah, give a shout out.
Aries, what's up? Robin's FBV, Damien Barnes, Neil Jones, RC Labotics, Clive, Dragon Nerds. Is that Winter Blue? FBV, Stephen Gibb. Let's keep going up there. Magical Pencils in chat. Hello, Win Davis. Tailspin. Oh my god, what's my computer doing now? It just dumped me out of here and now it's making funny noises. Mr. Shady. Numbskull FBV. That's all I can see. Clive. Dave Story. Tailspin. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Gavin Ferry's in the chat. What's up, Gavin Ferry? And Zero. Zero's in.
Zero.
Hello, Zero. How you doing, mate?
Do you know what? I'm getting fuck all from this. I've only got screenshots
swearing.
Sorry.
And gigawatts. Is he in here?
Jack, search Kebab FPV. It's his latest.
Oh, come on.
It's that one.
Yeah, well, you can't, but yeah, you get the idea.
Oh, what, Dow?
Do you really want to watch old?
I haven't even seen this.
Look at that. Look at the size of those hubs. It's ridiculous.
What is the point?
It's just like fidget spinners.
What's the point of these?
I think someone's had some sort of fever dream and has gone completely.
As I said, everyone's so bored. They're just let's design something that will fold up. It's like props don't last long enough to fold up. Don't worry, just design it.
I mean, to be fair to them, though, props are the most annoying thing on a quad, aren't they, when it comes to like storage, you know? I mean, quads are really minimalistic when they've got the props off. You can store them in a box, but as soon as they've got the props on, it's a bit
Yeah,
of a
I'd be
pain.
much happier with some sort of universal sort of quick release and put back on mechanism for
Well,
props.
there's
they've already
Popos.
done that, and the Popo.
Someone did
didn't
one,
really
but
catch on, did they?
no.
Popo.
But if they
Frank
caught one
tried doing
everywhere,
that.
it'd be better.
Oh, yeah.
I took my X-Class ones off to hang it on the wall because it was taking up too much room.
Well, that was where I saw it. It was in the macro quad Facebook group. There's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 inch quads, and they're kind of saying on there like, don't do it for 5-inch, do it for like 9-inch, do it for 12-inch props, do it for big props. Where
13s.
that way, you know, if you're sticking it in your car or whatever, you don't have to take the prop off to actually fit it in through a doorway or whatever. And
Review of the Popos. Maybe that's why they didn't catch on.
The props sent. Oh my god!
Right, sit up there.
And the other thing is, you know, with the like X-Class size props, how much do they cost, Tony?
£50.
It was so offensive. It made disconnect. Is that £50 for a set of 4 each prop? We don't know.
Stay tuned to find out. But yeah,
Tony can come back.
they're very expensive. So to have,
That's got to be for a set of 4, surely.
Yeah.
He's back. He's back in the chat now.
so if you could have, £50 for 4, but if you could, you know, maybe have it a little less, so it'd still probably be like £50 for the whole lot. But at least then, if you break one, you only have to replace half of one.
One
See what I
side
mean?
of it.
Thing is, when those big guys crash, I mean, they crash. They
Having seen,
really.
like the Thor being stress tested, let's say, like that was a case of putting a new arm on it, which is the aluminium tube, and then it was pretty much up and away from there, wasn't it? I've seen it definitely crash and fly again in the same day. Which, you know, for something that size, like if it's a wing, that's not going to be flying again the same day. There's no hot swapping components on a, you know, balsa model.
I think it's just for convenience, you know, shoving it in your bag or whatever. You know, if you can't really shove a quad in your bag because the props will either get bent or they won't fit. So, but I can't see it catching on really. They look very heavy. Those hubs do, don't they? And then you have to think as well, they're probably going to vibrate some as well, aren't they? With them flexing, you know, with them, like moving, being able to move, you would think. Or it'd be difficult to balance them for sure when you start putting screws and things in there that, you know, cheaper to bin a set of props rather than fold them each time. I think it's more for storage, you know, it's every time, you know, if you're flying on a daily basis, then you don't want to be taking your props off. Sometimes it can take, you know, maybe 5 minutes. In the UK, 5 minutes is the difference between getting a flight in and it raining, you know. So
It does seem a bit niche, though. It feels like they're trying to fix a problem that may not actually exist. But
I agree with it. I'm just not sure that is the solution. You know, the DJI propellers on the Phantom, very easy to do. You know, just like a lift-on system sort of thing, or is it a push down and twist kind of thing?
Well, loads of the DJIs are threaded ones as well, don't they? Where you just thread them straight on, and the way the motor turns will keep them tight, and then you just unscrew them straight off again.
I think since the Phantom 4, they've all had, bar a couple of them, they've all had a push on and twist system. So I can't see why we can't adapt that.
I don't know. Personally, quarter turns seem like a much better fastener than threads. Like threads are finicky and strip. And
I'll tell you what, it's not catching on. probably is because as soon as they say this, the racers will say, "Oh no, that weighs an extra gram. We can't have that.
Well,
That's not going to fly."
Our procs weigh
and then
what?
everybody said, "Oh, fair enough."
Well, I guess
5 inch
maybe that's
proc
where it is. Is it rather than races for like freestylers, bandoers? You know, people. You know, like you say, Andy, chucking them in the backpack, going to a spot, pulling it out. You know, putting it around for a pack or even half a pack, and then chucking it back in the back in the bag and walking on to the next spot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Every time I watch conspiracy theory things, weird shit happens to my PC. Honestly.
Are you sure it's
What
conspiracy?
links are you clicking on, Tony?
COVID ain't real.
Oh God!
We didn't land on the moon.
I bet you've been watching about these UFOs, Tony. That is it the Pentagon have released, or is it the Navy has released, or
the
something
Nemesis,
like
oh God, I can't remember the one. Yeah, the ones that
the
were
Navy pilot ones.
chased by the Navy pilots. Yeah. Yes, I watched that and they just cut me off. I don't know why.
Never a truer word was spoken. It's specifically the people that say things like 5G causes coronavirus that don't know what the fuck 5G is, essentially. So
yeah.
So just for people listening along, the quote that was highlighted there was, "People who watch conspiracy things are bad with computers."
It's not
case
me.
in point, Tony.
It's not me. It's them. For watching us.
Oh my God!
See, look, I'm with you, Tony. I've got some fans.
So we know Tony's, messing around with his computer and so won't have installed Curry's Sim.
Oh yeah.
But doesn't
Jack,
know how.
Have you tried Curry's Sim yet, Jack?
No.
Why not? What's your excuse?
It's very good.
Just a shit
He's too
friend,
busy with
really.
Cat porn and threatening to rape hedgehogs.
Rake hedgehogs, I'll have you know.
It's
the mind it goes into.
Wasn't the mind you were talking about. Poor hedgehogs.
Hey, Micah Dread's in the chat.
Make me laugh. I tried Curry Sim, super cool.
Make me tried it, and then he opened up an issue on the GitHub page, which he's quite welcome to, and then discovered he made a mistake. So that was the kind of issue I liked, because we could close it straight off again.
Nice.
Adds to your issues closed.
My issues closed is looking good.
You were talking about getting the field of view changed, Wayne, I think, when people went off a tangent. So where are you at with that?
It's my thing to do after networking and Steam. What it is, there's this thing in the game engine where I can say this is the angle of the camera. And what's happening is if I increase the view of the camera, it looks like everything gets stretched out like that. You know, when we increase the field of view in an FPV camera, basically we get that distortion at the sides and things goes away at the sides, and that's where they distort. In this one, by default, it's going away in the center. So what you end up with is the arms stretching out like that. And I was like, that's not the look I'm looking for here. So basically I have to write a shader to install my own sort of field of view thing somehow, which I don't know how to do because it's in shader language. So it's another thing to learn. Hence, I've left it to one of the last things. But I agree. The field of view is a problem because when you're approaching a gap, it feels like you're a massive quad and the gap's not very big. When me and Frank just messed around following each other, we're tiny. This is like following gnats. So you see Frank go through like the gap under the building, which he crashed into, by the way, because it was so massive.
Yeah, I saw that on your
he looked absolutely tiny, but from his point of view, it would look, because the field of view is not as big as I want it, it looks like there's not that much space. So that's definitely one of the things I want to fix. But yeah, I have to go away and think about how to write a specific shader for it, which basically takes the image that we've got and rearranges it in a situation where we can basically emulate a sort of wide angle lens and then I have to think about how I can change that through various things, which
very
looks
clever.
complicated.
Still, the until the networking is actually released, the two best parts are hitting spacebar and getting some cars or planes to chase, or the other bit is the wind turbines. I spent like a whole morning yesterday, I think it was, just chasing blades of wind turbines, just sort of trying to match
I need
them.
to download this, don't I?
Oh, I definitely like chasing the planes and the cars around most, because chasing planes is exactly the sort of thing I like to do when I go out flying with friends. And I remember we tried to do it with your plane when you came to my spot, but you were flying line of sight, and that wasn't as successful. You'd have to follow it into the ground. I never got a chance to chase drift cars like Tony has, so I wanted to put something in there. So
That was fun.
to chase. Yeah, looks fun.
The following the plane is good fun. I was trying to form up with it in like a flight test formation of just below it, looking backwards and flying backwards. It's good fun.
One of your challenges is, and it's possible to do, I've done it, if you hit the plane hard enough, you can crash it into the ground.
Really? I did discover that it had a collider on it, because it's
got a collider.
Crash into it.
Although it's on a flight path, it works on waypoints. So it says fly to here, fly to here. How it does it is it interprets the waypoint as like I have to turn, and to turn I have to like do this. So if you whack it hard enough, it will screw out the point. And if you like, for example, when it's going towards the buildings where it's quite tight, if you give it a good whack there, you can get it to fly into a building, no problem. It's one of the challenge things to do. Yes, it does work on a Mac. I develop it on a Mac, and it works on Windows, and it works on what's that other? Linux. Works everything except Pi, because I've just remembered that's on an ARM chip, so that's probably not going to work.
I think as well, like for me when I was playing it, because I haven't flown for probably about a week, it's really a good way to get your FPV fix. I was like, I'll probably be, I don't know, 5 minutes on this, and then 40 minutes later, I'm like, where did that 5 minutes go? So
I need a fix,
it was fun.
man.
But yeah, that's why I wanted to. That's why I've skipped ahead a few things to work on the networking, because I thought it's always fun to fly with your friends, isn't it? Because if we were out in the field together, we wouldn't sort of like everybody stop and watch Tony, everybody stop and watch Andy. We'd all sort of get up together and then see how things were like. Where are you? By the tree. What tree? No, that tree, other tree. And then we'd land where we had no battery and not find each other. But it's the same sort of thing. Will it be possible to fly the plane or the cars? Sorry, I've got a comment come out from Neil Jones there. It will be possible to fly the plane. There's a feature there to add it in that needs just a bit more restructuring. There's an issue. I've opened myself at my own issue to say be able to fly the plane. The code's all there. It just needs some messing about with. Because, of course, one of the things I want to do, and we've talked about it before, and Frank especially had some ideas about this, was it's when you're learning to fly, the idea is that you sort of take people's minds off flying and put them on something else. So if you can make a game out of it, like one person fly the plane, the other people crash into the plane and make him crash, how long can you last? Or stuff full of like the beach ball, what if we turn that into like who can score a goal against each other, are all things where you'd sort of develop in skill and you're not thinking about your thumbs and stuff, and you're just getting on with it. And that then translates into real life. Although you won't go out necessarily and hit planes or hit beach balls, you'll have that muscle memory, and you'll be more confident about flying in real life. That's the plan.
So, got a news flash on an air show that I've just been notified about in the chat, that potentially sounds like we'll have NERC there.
Wow.
For a slot.
Ooh.
Oh, that'd be cool. Nice.
There we go.
Numbskull was talking about the Ender 3, I think, printer. One of my close friends has just bought 6 of them from France, and they were here in England within 3 days. So I don't know. I could find out if you really wanted to know about
It
them.
sounds like he's ordered a new 7-inch frame instead. He got fed up with the idea of waiting, I think.
Okay. Well, as I say, my mate got 6 of them in 3 days. He's printing out loads of face mask stuff for the NHS. He's like been on TV. Well, he's stuff's been on TV and stuff. So yeah, he was. Wings and Wheels is cancelled till next year too. Oh man, that was my favourite last year. Has it really been cancelled? That's because I'm not on Facebook,
Everything's
but I
been
don't
cancelled,
know.
hasn't it?
I think it's just going to be a non-meetup year then, isn't it?
I think Western Park's still going ahead so far in October and November. I don't think
Oh my God, it'll be -12 and raining hard.
it will. Yeah.
No,
but
I go anyway.
I believe that the reason why they pushed
Damn.
it, I think it might be November. I think my friend was telling me that the fireworks at Western Park started on Bonfire Night, doing a special fireworks display, and they built it into the summer show. So it's not something they haven't done before. So, but there's nothing to say that the events will be happening in October 2020.
Yes.
That's all mini show, which you'll be able to join in live. miniairshow.co.uk on the 16th.
We're
of
bringing
May.
2020 back, people, with Mini Air Show Virtual Edition.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah, you're missing all the events. This will be the best event of spring 2020 by far.
Did anybody actually manage to fly anything this week?
Not this week. No, we've had the rain setting up here. I don't know about you guys, but we've had,
big time.
Yeah, since about Saturday.
yeah. And then I won't be able to fly at the weekend. But I've got the Diatone Tina to check out. I don't know if you're aware of that one.
No.
It's an interesting one because it's got the Flight 1 firmware on it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be getting that, but I didn't. It was quite a different design, wasn't it? Because it's like it's got an upper and lower frame part where it's all sort of enclosed.
Very similar to I mean, there is a company, Flex RC, Dimitri from Flex RC. He's been making those kind of designs for years and years. But as these small models become more popular for flying indoors, they've sort of taken that design and made it smaller. It comes with the Flight 1. Is it called the Falcor? It's not Falcor.
Falcor's the camera, isn't it? From
No.
Falcor was a camera.
No, it wasn't. It was a massive thing that you used to ride on in Never-Ending Story, wasn't it? Yeah, right.
All right, but it was also Foxy Falcor was a camera.
Falco X, you see, they up to more stuff than Falco X. I believe it's a firmware like Betaflight, but all of the settings are done through the on-screen display. They aren't done through as far as I'm aware, they aren't done through like an interface.
Yes.
But there's been some problems with it. Apparently, it's got an auto turtle mode, and apparently that's causing the ESCs to catch fire. So they're switching to Betaflight. So
Can I just do a Tony impression? Falco, that was a character from Star Fox, wasn't it? Say something irrelevant.
Right. Falco was from Never-Ending Story.
Numbskull. Yeah, it's self-set up. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I kind of want to try the flight. Is it called Flight 1? And then Falco X is the firmware. I want to try it, but they're saying they're moving to Betaflight with it because their ESCs keep catching fire. And with it being like an indoor model as well, you don't want your carpet on fire, do you? You know.
It's a kitchen flyer, this one, just in case.
Yeah, maybe. But I could fly it outside if we get some decent weather and then see what that's like. But they're saying they've had that many ESC issues that they're switching to Betaflight anyway, so that makes it kind of pointless.
The thing I want to do is buy the 360 Go, Insta 360 Go, 20-gram camera with really good, what do we call it in it? The camera stabilization. Thank you. Looks really good, and it's 20 grams and tiny, but it's 180 quid, and I'm trying to save money at the moment.
Been doing some targeted advertising, haven't they? I've seen this is perfect for FPV.
Okay. I saw it about a month ago, and I was like, I'm going to put this on something tiny, and it'll be fun to fly around the house and stuff and outside.
Doesn't it have
stabilization? Looks pretty good.
Doesn't it have a limited runtime?
5 minutes.
Yeah, it's not very long.
It was 30 seconds, but they've put it up to 5 minutes now.
To be fair, it's not going to last as long as the battery, is it?
Yeah.
I'd heard it was like 60 seconds, but maybe it's not.
No, they've changed something, and it's 5 minutes now.
What resolution is it? Because it looks like it's going to be small.
I think it's 1080-60.
Yeah, that's not enough for 360. I don't.
No, it's not a 360 camera.
It's not a 360. What is it then?
No, it's the Insta360 Go is just a little action camera, but it's basically like if you took the Insta360 One X and chopped it in half so that you only had one camera,
it's that,
and then you used that, and it just used that wide field of view, but cropped it down so that you got a 1080p stabilized footage. That's kind of what it's all about.
Yeah, but it's 180 quid, and I'm trying to save money.
That's practically a set of props.
Rob Britton's having a bit of time, bless him.
You know what, Rob Britton is in chat today.
Yeah, send him
for a while. Life is kicking my ass at the moment. Oh man!
I got one of those Tony things that are very loud.
Hey,
I thought Andy, you were taking a piss when you said it's like 620 grams. Which is exactly what this came out to when I stuck a battery on it. It's like, is that really going to take off? I have to wait till the rest of my family is away somehow before I can even hover it in the garden, and all my neighbours that have moved out or something.
They're good at doing their jobs.
I can't even imagine it.
What's scaring everybody?
I went out for a bike ride and took the quad and flew through the bluebells the other day and got some really good shots with it. Flew up a stream and flew some bluebells and stuff. I like what they do.
I look forward to flying it. It's kind of interesting because when I got it out before I put the GoPro on it, which weighs a ton, because it's this is foam, and I was like, it's not as heavy as I thought. And then you put the stuff on it, and you're like, Jesus Christ, it is literally a pig. It's it's going to be a flying brick, isn't it? But it'd be interesting.
Don't worry, it compensates with in-power and noise.
But you're right, the weather's been so bad because I flew a quad I reviewed, which I've already forgotten, the Sector 132. I think I did that on Friday, and I basically went around the garden and in the house because it wasn't too big. But then today I managed to get out for 2 minutes to do a GPS test, which is the extent of my testing for part one.
I have to do it in the middle of my road in my pajamas. My GPS testing, and my neighbours are like,
I got dressed especially just to go outside because I was being filmed.
What
Otherwise,
GPS were you testing?
The HGLRC are sort of doing standalone GPSs and GPS with compasses as well.
I was put in a HGLRC group today. I was like, what's going on in here? I don't know. There's loads of pilots in there.
Our fishy's here.
Hey, hello, Fraser Singh.
I always say it a bit how wishy.
How wishy. How wishy. Oh, man, that's wrong.
I am so sorry. It happened to me, my auntie. It was awful. If you ever need to chat, just say. There's some horrendous things. And Tony is like a little tumour that's grown on me. I like it, but it's slowly sucking the life out of me.
What did you say to me this week, Jack, when you rang me?
I'm never going to complain about how annoying you are ever again.
Right then. So what just happened? What just happened?
I do miss you. Actually, I haven't heard from you that much. What have you been doing other than playing on the PlayStation?
Been live streaming my Call of Duty non-skills, where I die more than I kill and then lob my controller across the room. So if you're interested in me shouting and screaming at the TV, come join me.
I think it was on the Discord that I saw some mentions of #RageQuitTony.
Yeah, that's me. I literally, if I get killed 4 times in a row without killing anyone, I'm leaving that server. See you later.
You are not playing a game that suits you, Tony.
Oh no, I just literally need to play Animal Crossing with Jack.
Yeah, you should join us on the hedgehog raping game.
Yeah, that's right up my street.
Oh, man.
Jeez.
So do you want to elaborate on that a bit, just to explain that?
We were attempting to play a game. Because every time I suggest an adventure game to Jack, because they suit our streams quite well, he's like, "Oh, I watched that on stream. It was really good." So I had to look for something obscure. So I found this Polish game called Teen Agent.
Yeah, Clive just put it out.
Which, fortunately, Clive was there to give us little hints from the README.
Oh, I gave him the walkthrough so that he could front and take the blame.
God. It's literally like you join together to most of the items that weren't joined together. And then, I mean, yesterday we had to polish
caught a mouse with a hanky.
With a sooted duster, and then we caught a mouse with a hanky. It just didn't make sense.
The potato with a duster.
And what's happening is there's a hedgehog in the game, which has some sort of pine cone stuck in him. And then Jack asked us if we could rape him. And then it's decided he actually said rake, not rape. But more than one person heard the word
because we don't have a rape in our inventory.
That's it. We don't have that verb available to us. But let me see what I can do with this poll.
Jesus. Yeah, I might stick to Call of Duty. Cheers.
Yeah, no worries.
But that's what Jack and Curry get up to of a Wednesday evening.
I bought night shift. So, but that's going to be absolutely horrendous.
He wasn't going to pay for it, but after 2 weeks of Teen Agent, he immediately paid for it and said, "We're playing this now."
Yeah.
It was on Saturday, wasn't it? That there was a Winter Blues stream.
Live stream, yeah, with
Sync FPV.
Yeah, Sync. That's it. Yeah. For a minute, then I keep thinking of like the bathroom sink or the kitchen sink, not like Sync on Luma, or oh my god, I'm going mad.
I popped in and said hello on the stream.
Yeah, I messaged you guys so that
I had it on the background, but I was busy didn't say anything in the chat, so I was just lurking.
Outrageously, he hadn't heard of LDO before.
I know, that's why. That's exactly when I left.
Yeah, Tony was like, "I'm done." I was like, I was in the chat. I was like, "Don't listen to it. It's a load of shit."
That's our spokesman putting our ad line out there.
Yeah,
don't listen to it.
To talk about his background and stuff sounds quite interesting. He's a game developer, so
yeah, and he's got an arty missus as well.
So you would go there, wouldn't you?
You can have some sort of draw off.
Well, yeah, it's like credit where artists are due.
Drew.
Very good.
I don't know if he meant to do that or it was a mistake, but either way, it was funny.
I know. I just gave the hassle. Also, Sync FPV has got the coolest hair ever. I mean, look how cool his hair is.
What colour? It's like grey, isn't it?
He's like a silver bat.
Is he like?
He's a silver.
Should we call him Schofield?
It's like how I missed the Steel.
Look at him. Look at that. Really the beard hair and the rubbing. And also, I don't know what preamps he's using, but he sounds good. Let's see who was in the chat. Clown FPV, we ain't got him. Fruity Cake, I think we've heard of that. Clegg, Cameron, I think I've seen him once or twice. Aliens, see, these are all new people.
Yeah, they need to come over to our stream, don't they?
Come on, load the chat.
Other streams that have been on this week besides Winter
there I am.
And your gaming one. There was also on Friday. There was the Discord AMA.
Yes, Curry. 10 o'clock.
Well, last week
yes,
there was yours, but
Friday.
This week was yours.
Sorry, Frank. Talk.
So last week Jack had his AMA.
Mm-hmm.
And we're asking him some awkward questions sometimes. How awkward were our questions?
He was fine whether I was gay or not. And now my mum keeps asking me the link for it, and I'm like,
I'm gonna send it to her.
are you friends with her?
Well, she follows me on Instagram, so I'll just PM her it later.
And it just starts on that timestamp as well.
Brilliant.
If you could send it
I
to my mum.
think I asked if you swang both ways, not. You know.
Yeah, if you want any of the past AMAs,
It's a good watch.
they're only available on Patreon. So at 10 o'clock tomorrow at PM, you get the link. And if you're there on Discord, I'll post the link to Discord now. An invite Discord, and you go on there. We'll post up the link, and then when it's over, it's over. So
it's on Discord only, not on Patreon only.
Yeah.
Oh, it is after that.
Okay.
As soon as it's finished.
So it's Discord for everybody, and then when it's over, it gets posted on Patreon, and it's only for Patreons. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
That is it. Basically.
So, Curry Kitten, are you scared for tomorrow evening?
No.
What time is it?
10 o'clock.
BST.
Why are you shaking? What's the matter? Do you need a wee?
I'm not too worried because Jack is the host, and Jack's often just like distracted by cats and stuff. So if any questions get dodgy, I'll just like hold up a cat and let me be distracted.
Like normal blokes, you'd have to hold up something else.
Still pussy, mate. Thanks for the pod, guys. Next one's on the 9th. Yeah, do you want me to post the chat? Oh man, what a dick. I didn't post up the chat. Fuck.
What chat? What are we talking about?
Hello, boy.
I didn't post the link. Next week, Pavel Pakowski is going to come on.
Never say his name.
What's that name again?
Meerkat
One more time for
5,
clarity.
How?
Meerkat number 5.
Meerkat number 5. Is it Pavel?
It's
Pavel.
just Meerkat.
Pavel.
Seriously though, can we show him one of the adverts? Because he's not seen them before, and he's confused every time we mention the meerkat. He's like, "No, what is it? I don't know meerkats." Sort of but in his voice.
That's because meerkat's Russian. We've been over this. He's Polish.
It's close enough. They sound the same. Same ballpark. Eastern Europe.
Over that way, isn't it?
It's over that way. Yeah, not quite.
Oh my god.
They all sound the same.
Why are you shaking? What's the matter? Oh, I think I'm going to
go with INAV.
Take her out for a wee. I'll be back in a minute.
There's
wee break going on for Tony.
There's Winter Blues channel if anyone wants it. I'm gonna check it out. Next one is on. I can't remember. He put the day in the chat.
I think it was the 9th.
9th. Fuck. I'm such a shit
Next week, Saturday.
I remember when I used to be kind of on the ball. Now I'm just a mess. It doesn't help that all I do is just injure myself. 3 points of contact, Frank.
Do you want to tell people about your scary experience the other day, Jack?
God.
Is Jack old enough where he can say he's taken a fall?
Yeah.
We have to be careful of his hips, everybody. He's old now.
He's not allowed out anymore, but he can still find new and inventive ways to injure himself.
He's not allowed out, but he tried to get out. He fell down.
So that's my carpet, and there's a joint.
That did look like a dodgy bum crack.
Are you on the right? I have to check if he was on the right thing.
Yeah, someone's opening it up.
At the time, I said. So on the Thursday night show, I accidentally showed my toilet what I did to it. Because now and again, I'll take photos of it and send it to Tony. Like, it's worse when my line manager, Megan, goes through my phone. She's like, "Why have you got so many photos of your poo?" And I'm like, "Oh, I sent it to Tony, don't ask." So It's a miracle that's not on my.
Why are you letting people go through your phone?
Because I don't care. I don't care, am I? What's on there? Poo.
Pictures
Sometimes-
of poo.
Yeah.
And
I'm not
given the
into
pictures you sent to me before, which I had to unsubscribe to, some worse stuff than that.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
God.
Lily, I barely count her as a human.
Help.
I didn't make them. She sends them to me. Oh,
Oh,
So
God,
tell
what
the
have I
story,
missed?
Tell the story, Jack. What happened? You've missed Jack showing his bum on his phone to the
Oh,
audience.
thank God.
oh yeah, that's the point. I sent you a photo of my arse, didn't I? Oh shit. See, I just
Yeah.
get bored and start doing dumb shit.
I've only been sent what's come out of the arse.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were just talking about that as well, Tone.
Yeah.
That's why he's got so many pictures on his phone of it, because he's or the toilet, because he sends you pictures of it.
Yeah, I just get his shit down the loo pictures.
So what happened, Jack? You took a
Oh,
fall.
friends
Were you reaching for some sugar and you tripped over? Did you press the little red button around your neck?
No, bloody
Had the Stena
Frankie
stairlift broken.
Frankie sending me like the brochures for them, like don't rescue buttons and that.
Have
No,
you
I think
seen the don't resuscitate me thing yet? I think you should. Do us all a favour. Oh, I'm only joking, mate.
He loves it, really, Luke.
He's laughing. He loves it. He knows it.
I think the Stana stairlift is out the question because I exceed its weight limit. But yeah, the carpet, they didn't put any nails in it and they just used carpet glue, and the carpet's about 10 years old now. And the adhesion was worn off, and then I stepped on the step and the carpet moved and down I went. And my elbow and wrist and my lower back. So it's great.
The only time I've ever seen you fall over properly is when you got pulled over by the kite.
Oh
yeah, hilarious.
Oh my God, I'm surprised that was even able to do that due to my incredible frame.
That was so funny.
It was like a shit boulders from Indiana Jones, really. Did you get it? No, toxic. It was just all on the lower back. It was fantastic. Hope you put in a claim, Jack.
Yeah, put in a claim.
To who?
Well, there's a plane.
There's a claim.
Well, I think that's
fruity cake snow she will as well. Look, I like that
tonight.
Do you want to call us out then, Jack?
Yep, no worries. After that, I deeply apologise. It went deep into LDO territory. Thank you. You've been listening to the Thursday night.
What's it called again? What are we doing?
Oh, what is it called, Jack? That's because no one's flown for like weeks.
It said top left-hand corner, just so you know.
Oh, really? Yeah. It's the dementia. Where am I? What am I doing?
It says it in both the top left-hand corner for us and the top right-hand corner for everyone watching as well.
I've got Steve Gadlin's squad, so might be able to have a couple of build videos. Hello, you've been watching and listening to Let's Drone Out.
Way.
Tonight have been hosts and people on the show have been Curry Kitten.
Goodbye.
Everyone's favourite liability, Andy RC.
Good evening.
My Little Tony.
How do?
And I must say, I much prefer that Andy RC's not saying how do anymore. And everyone's favourite virtual mini air show organiser, Andrew /Frank.
Join us on the 16th at miniairshow.co.uk. Bye.
And I've been bright until I fly. Thank you guys and good night.
Thumbs up, please. Bye.